Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. Today I will be making apples in pancake batter. I've got two small kids who do not want to eat fruits and vegetables, and I have to come up with ways to make different kind of breakfast, even different kind of pancakes. Since they like apples, well, that's the start of today, apples in pancake batter. So I have about 4 or 5 apples cut up in here, and I like them sliced or diced into pieces like that, and I will come closer with the camera later to show it. Some people like to shred on the bigger part, not the small shredder, but the big shredder. The size of apples will get you the apples to either be very soft in a pancake or more crunchy. I prefer more crunchy, that's why I dice them instead of shredding. So that's something to think about, how you like your apples to be. In my flour, I already have pinch of salt and teaspoon of baking powder. And for the liquid, there is water and milk, altogether 250 milliliters. And 1 tablespoon of soft butter already in there. All is warm and melted. The butter is melted. So room temperature of the eggs. And again, cinnamon is for your own liking if you love apples and cinnamon. And what I need to do is just put it together. So milk, water, and butter. That brown sugar. Vanilla sugar. Polish people love vanilla sugar in cakes and sweets. So this package is about 35 grams, the whole package, but I am putting about 25. If you really love sweet, then of course you can put more sugar, but I prefer to do it on the end with powdered sugar if I feel those are not sweet enough. But I always try to put less sugar than any recipe calls for. So flour, eggs, just everything in one dish. And before I start using the mixer, first I want to get the flour to get incorporated with the liquid. So when I start mixing it with the mixer, it doesn't fly all over the kitchen. You know how flour is. That's my thing. After every baking, there's lots of cleaning. Playing with flour is messy. So I have the cinnamon, I have the baking powder. On the end, when I mix it here, then I can put the apples. And today, instead of the fancy mixer, I'm just gonna use the old-fashioned one. It's a small project. Okay, and the butter took me 2 minutes. And it is almost as thick as a waffle butter. Not quite, but very close to it. And as far as the apples, again, I like them not shredded, but diced. And these are the pieces I have here. I like them more crunchy than soft once the pancakes are ready. For today, I need 250 grams of all-purpose flour, which should be 2 cups, 60 grams of brown sugar, which is over 1/4 of a cup, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, about 25 grams of vanilla sugar, 1 tablespoon of soft butter, 60 milliliters of warm water, which is about 1/4 of a cup, 200 milliliters of warm milk, 2 eggs room temperature, and either 4 big apples or 5 to 6 small apples. And for those of you who love apples with cinnamon, you can also add a teaspoon of cinnamon. And out of curiosity, I forgot, but it's a good thing I thought about it. If I wanted to give you how much the apples weight that I have here, 415 grams of apples that I have. Just reference. Doesn't have to be exact. If you want it thicker with more apples, you can put 1 more. If you don't want it as thick, then you can put 1 less. That's just approximate. So 415 grams, that's what I have with this recipe today. Okay, now the apples go into my pancake batter. And one more time, I will come up close to show you how much apples there is once mixed. This time, apples in a pancake batter, not pancakes with apples. So I do have more apples. And for the regular pancakes that are very popular in Poland, those pancakes are very flat and there is no baking powder whatsoever. With those, there's 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And here are the apples mixed in with the pancake batter. Lots of apples. We used to have it for snack, middle of the day. Running around playing, couple hours before dinner. Oh, one big pancake, that was a treat. Now time to put those on a pan. I've got some oil on a pan. When you're choosing an oil for pancakes, well, better do not take olive oil because it has an aftertaste. Take something that's neutral. And how big of the pancakes you want, I don't know, but for me, once you see the bubbles, then your pan is ready. Make sure it is warmed up before you put the pancakes on. But the size I have, I'll come closer and show you. So for my 12-inch pan, I've got 3 pancakes. But if you make them just a tiny bit smaller, you can fit 4 of them. Okay, so now I will try to make them a little smaller so I can fit 4 and just compare. And again, when I first started, my pan was hot, and now I have my heat on medium. So 4 pancakes on a 12-inch pan right now. And it takes about 2 minutes on one side and 2 minutes on the other side. Well, it might be 2.5. That's the approximate time. You will see by the color of the pancakes. And again, the heat is on medium. And also, when I see pieces of burnt dough, I want to clean it. I don't want this to go into my next yummy new pancake. So I like to get a wet napkin and clean all the burnt pieces out of the pan. Another thing, if you're worried that maybe the pancakes are not going to be done in the middle, but pretty well done on the outside, you can lower the heat once you put a lid on. That way you trap the heat inside to make sure that those are done inside as well as on the outside. But first, always higher heat. Once you see the bubbles and you have the pancakes on the pan, then you lower it and then you can cover. Okay, when I see the bubbles, I can lower it a little bit less than medium if I want to cover them. Okay, time to flip them on the other side. And again, cover 2.5 minutes. You'll see by the color of them. Out of this recipe, I have about 14 pancakes. Hi again. I have decided to put a little clip together for those of you who are wondering why I have this bump on my hand. And when I move my hand, it becomes bigger or smaller, it moves around. This is a ruptured muscle, and I know it's very visible. I have it because I was in a car accident about 5.5 years ago, and I do not remember the accident. I woke up in a hospital a couple days later, and slowly things were coming together. I am very thankful I do not remember it because I might be afraid of driving, and I feel comfortable driving a car right now. My husband and I, we were just driving on a main street, and someone was coming from a side street, not paying attention to the stop sign, driving pretty fast, straight into our car. The car was damaged, not drivable. I had broken ribs. Some of my backbones were cracked. That was the other thing, the ruptured muscle, and of course bruises. The worst thing though was I was pregnant, 5 months pregnant with my daughter, and at the time in the hospital, my husband was told by the doctors that my chances of survival are about 10%, and for my daughter, probably zero. So that was the worst thing, the stress. The rest of the pregnancy, I had to sleep on that hospital bed in my own house, not laying down, but kind of sitting, and just worried about how the baby's doing, if the baby's going to be okay or not. Even today, with all the technology, nobody can tell you 100% if you're gonna have a healthy baby after something like this or not. But she is. She is just a bunch of energy, crazy little girl. She cannot sit still. She keeps me on my toes. So again, if you wonder why I'm so skinny and I do eat everything I bake, because I run after her. I run after her morning till night. So she gives me all the exercise I need. I don't need any gym. I have gym at home. If I wanted to fix that muscle, I could. The doctor can sew the muscle together, and it will take about 6 to 8 weeks, me being in a cast. So I'll be exchanging my bump for a scar. And for me, this is not worth it. It doesn't hurt me, it doesn't bother me. There are more important things in life than, little something like this. And I decided it's okay. I can live with that. But again, I know it's visible, and some of you might wonder, like, what is this? So this is the explanation. That's why I have this bump. And it's gonna stay with me until the day I die. I'm happy I'm alive right now because, like I said, 10% chances of survival, and for my baby, zero. I'm thankful I'm alive. I'm pretty healthy. I love the baking. I love the cooking. And I have 2 healthy children. So there's lots to be thankful for. Just wanted to let you know why, and wish you a great day, great weekend, and happy baking. Thank you.